Family, it's your favorite queer radio personality, Anna DeShawn here, and welcome to our Monday night edition of Queer News Live. Family, I'm so happy to be back with you on another Monday night talking about all things queer, okay? All things news, all things politics, culture, and entertainment. I am always so grateful to be able to do this show and to do it for y'all, for the people, okay? We deserve an outlet dedicated to our stories. We deserve an outlet we can trust. Yes, and that's who we are here at E3 Radio, your number one stop for queer news done right. Hopefully, you all have tapped in, huh? Did you tap into the episode today? It dropped this morning around 9 a.m. Chicago time with your top queer news stories. This evening, we'll give you a quick recap of what we reported on earlier today, maybe even go a little bit more in depth. Happy to share. Also, yes, some more information on more details if you need it, if you want it. That's what we're here for. And I'm so excited because this has been a new endeavor doing Queer News Live. And I truly have started to really enjoy just being on here with you all. And you all watch it later, you watch the replay. I know y'all sharing it out here in the world. And soon enough, you got to give these things time. I know more people will begin to join us. So family, tell me in the comments where you're tuning in from, okay? I'm tuning in. Well, actually, I'm broadcasting live from south side of Chicago. And I'm going to talk to y'all a little bit tonight, too. Tell me where. All right. We doing all the things around here. All the things, and I'm happy you're here. So why don't we just get started? First things first, I want y'all to know next week, we're going to have two special guests joining us. They were going to join us tonight. But you know what happened? Let me tell you what happened. It's raining here in Chicago, okay? Storming. The thunder is roaring, okay? We had them right here. They were with me. Jessica, Emily, they were with me. And you know what happened? The lights went out. The lights went out in their apartment. And it got real dark. And we sat and we chatted it up a little bit. You know, we chopped it up just a little bit to see if they come back on. And them lights did not come back on. So we're going to reschedule till next week. So they'll be on the show next Monday to talk about Queer Quest. If you remember, we had them on Queer News last year to talk about the event that they were putting on for people of color in STEM, which I think is so incredibly important. And I thought it was just such a dope, seriously dope program, an event that they were putting on called Queer Quest. They're coming back to talk to us about it, talk to us and tell us how it went. Tell us what they got coming up next. Tell us what they learned about it. And I hope if you're tuning into this and maybe you know some Black and brown folks who are into STEM, yes, the math nerds, the science nerds, the nerds we need in our lives. Yeah. If you know those folks, you're going to want to tap in to what Jessica and Emily got going on, okay? Because they're doing some really, really dope things. All right, let me check out these comments. Where are my people coming in from? Chi-Town all day. Let's go. Michigan. You'll see you next week. Still in the dark. Dang. Tragic. So tragic. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's jump in to some of our top queer news stories from today, huh? This sister right here. Do you know this sister? It's okay if you don't. That's why I'm here. Let me tell y'all about Shanta. Now, she goes by Sean Smith Cruz, okay? She is New York's newly appointed chief keeper of records. Now, what in the world is the chief keeper of records? Child, she holds the key to all the archives for New York City. She holds the key to preserving all the records for New York State, okay? She holds the key to libraries and FOIA requests and government files, and she's that girl. She also has 2 decades worth of experience working in libraries. She's been an advocate in her new role, and she's talking about what we're thinking about, what it means to have open access to government data, government records, and government information, right? She is that person. And I love that we coming off Lesbian Visibility Week and we got this amazing Black lesbian news right here, because she was just appointed by Mayor Mamdani to take over this particular role. So I thought that was pretty dope. We started the show with this particular story because why not? This is queer news. I can do whatever I want to here. And I love that for me. The next story we covered today on the show, I know y'all like, what, Anna, what is this? This is the correctional facility in Oregon. Let me tell you about this story. And the reason I wanted to tell this story because trans women don't often win these court cases. But in this particular case, the trans woman Zira Lola Zombie is what she goes by. She's currently serving a sentence in Oregon until 2049. But here's the deal. Back in 2021, she filed a complaint for a child being sexually abused. Okay. And let me get the Two Rivers Correctional Institution, where she was being held. She says she faced ongoing harassment, verbal, mental, and psychological abuse, not just by the prisoners, but by the staff as well, child. And it's all because of her sex, gender, and gender identity. Now, 2 years later, a judge classified her as a vulnerable party, right? And that glass should have protected her, but it did not. It did not. And she filed a lawsuit against the state of Oregon. And guess what? Guess what, family? She won. And that's not something I get to say all the time. That's not the news we get to hear about all the time, but she won a case. And she got a settlement of $295,000. Now, I feel like maybe she could have got more. You feel me? But she did win it. And the money will be split between her and her lawyer fees because that's how this thing works. But she did win her case and she did get moved into a women's correctional facility where she will serve the rest of her time. But it's not too often that these cases get to court, actually heard, and actually found in the favor of the person who filed the complaint, especially a trans woman. So here we are. That was our first story for today. Our next story, we went down to Texas because, Governor Abbott, he be about that life. He's just Ron DeSantis 2.0. Okay. And Texas Tech University, which I'm sure so many of us are familiar with, they took Don't Say Gay to a whole nother level. Y'all remember the Don't Say Gay legislation that DeSantis started in Florida that then got transposed all across the country. Well, in Texas and at Texas Tech University, they've decided to ban any student thesis or any student dissertation writing about LGBTQ plus discussion topics. Okay. So if you are at Texas Tech University, you can't write nothing about queer folks. And professors have to refrain from teaching anything related to LGBTQ discussion topics. And now this memorandum was sent by the chancellor, Brandon Creighton, to the university president. And Brandon Creighton is a former Republican legislator, and now he's the chancellor. And so this is what he's doing. In the specific memorandum, it says the TTU system is initiating the closure and Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board teach-out process for all academic programs centered on sexual orientation and gender identity, including undergraduate majors, minors, certificates, graduate degrees. Child, anybody at any level of higher education at Texas Tech University and inside of the system. And they will no longer offer academic credentials in these fields, but all currently enrolled students will be able to complete their degrees, which I think is really important. But after that, X, okay? And this is affecting 64,000 students who make up Texas Tech. And people ain't happy. They're not happy. And what will they do about it? Now, here's the real kicker. The university is going to use AI technology, okay, to scour the current courses offered at the school for any programs that could go against the new memorandum with the aim to ban the programs in the coming months. So when I saw this, I thought to myself, this is exactly why when I'm doing research for this podcast, when our producers do research for this podcast, why today so many LGBTQ organizations that are doing any LGBTQ work, right, are changing the language on their websites, changing the language of any programs that they offer, or in fact, removing team members, staff members from the websites altogether because they are using AI technology to scrub for keywords. They are scrubbing for every keyword they think might be related to an LGBTQ thing, to a black thing, to a brown thing, to an immigration thing. Child, it all comes up as red flags, and and AI is catching whatever it catches, strays and all. Okay, so this is the impact. This is the impact of what's happening. So Texas Tech University is saying no to LGBTQ studies. Incredibly disappointing, but not surprising in this particular climate, is it? Not at all, especially not with a governor like Governor Abbott. Now, our last political story we shared, I think, is indicative. Is indicative of what we've been seeing across the country over the last couple of years. Is that we've been seeing a lot of bans on crosswalks. Right, we've been seeing bans on crosswalks across the country. They've been in the middle of the night. Florida, right? They'll remove a crosswalk. Utah's been removing crosswalks. Texas has been removing crosswalks, rainbow crosswalks. I mean, this is high level, top flight issues. Okay, who cares about the economy? Who cares about the price of gas, child? Okay, crosswalks are dangerous. So ridiculous. It's so ridiculous, but this is what's happening. Okay, but on Trans Day of Visibility last month, the governor of Idaho actually banned the flying of flags. Okay, because flags are a part of this too. So they banned any flags that were not a part of the pre-approved list. Now we know the pride flag was not a part of the pre-approved list, and so what people did down in Idaho is that they took that flag down, but then they made the flagpole rainbow. Because they said, okay, we can't fly the flag, no worries. The pole gonna be gay though. We're gonna make the pole gay. Because you can't erase us. You can't erase a whole group of people. I don't care what you're trying to do. It's just, I do believe we just have more important things we should be dealing with. And representation does matter. Yeah. So last week, y'all remember we reported about Stonewall and the government and Trump administration losing that fight and having to put the pride flag back at Stonewall on the official flagpole. Y'all remember that? Yeah, they lost it because it's unconstitutional. Yeah, we have the First Amendment for a reason. And they use it as a luxury whenever they feel like they want to use it and whenever they don't want to use it, right? It doesn't work that way. So they lost that battle in New York, and the Trump administration lost. And I love telling that story, right? And so here we are again, this time in Idaho, being unconstitutional. And the people just like, child, we're going to be gay anyway. And let me show you how. So I love that they did this. I'm loving all the creative ways folks are trying and finding ways to still show up and show their pride. And y'all, it ain't just in June. We're gay all the time. Okay. I mean, this is just facts. Now, y'all know on the podcast, I cover politics in the first half, but then we get into culture and entertainment because I do believe culture and entertainment will save us every time. Culture and entertainment is 20 years ahead of the politic. In most cases. And there's so many positive things happening in culture and entertainment. It really does balance out what's happening politically across the country. And so I really do hope that you all tap into the podcast. But if not, I'm here Mondays at 7:00 Chicago time. And then during lunchtime on Thursdays at noon. Okay. With Queer News Live, dropping the stories that we're covering that you often do not hear about. Yeah. But I get to focus on queer things all day here. Yes, I do. Let me see what people talking about here in the chat. Hey, Corey, what's happening? Yeah, this is my constant emoji. That one right there with my head being, blown up. Yeah, that's me. That's me. Let's go. Let's see what's happening. I appreciate the work that you do to bring this information to the forefront. Tuning in from the Bible Belt, and it's easy for feel alone here, child. I'm with you, okay? I promise to goodness. I do this show because I know there's people just like you in the Bible Belt, All right. I know what it's like to be in a rural space and be yearning for community, yearning for people that look like me, yearning for people who care. Yes, from Chicago, born and raised, went to undergrad though in Des Moines, Iowa, decided to do my master's in Ithaca College, spent 6 years in predominantly white and small towns and at a time where I was really coming of age. So I understand what it means to really yearn for folks who understand what you're feeling. Hmm. And when you're sorting everything out, you just need community. So I do this show because of that. And when we look at the cuts that have happened across the country to public broadcasting, to NPR, major cities like Chicago were not as impacted. Folks here didn't feel it. The people who feel it are the people who are in the rural areas who desperately need the funding, where that funding made up 70% of their budget. Whereas here in the larger cities, it may make up 10% of their budget, maybe 15% of their budget, not 70. And so the work we do here is to counteract misinformation, but it's also to create community with folks who want to uplift, who believe in the queer folks' humanity, to be and, and to love however they wish. Yes. So I'm so glad you're here. And so let's jump in to some culture and entertainment. Now, y'all already know I'm a basketball fan, period. Okay. Basketball all day. And so let us talk about this 2026 class of Hall of Fame class of inductees, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Yeah. I could probably sit here all day and talk about that 1996 Olympic team. That 1990. I have that jersey. That jersey is in my possession. I have it. I was obsessed. In 1996, I was 13 years old, okay? You can tell me nothing about Ruthie Bolton Holyfield, okay? You couldn't tell me nothing about Cheryl Swoops, okay? You couldn't tell me nothing about a Dawn Staley. Couldn't tell me nothing, okay? About a Nikki McCray. Y'all, that 1996 Olympic team set the stage for the WNBA to be real in 1997. The WNBA does not start off as strong as it did in 97 without this 96 Olympic team. Jennifer Azzi, Rebecca Lobo. I'm looking at this and I can just Lisa Leslie. Oh my goodness, that Olympic team was next level, okay? And now they're all getting inducted, okay, into the Hall of Fame. We love this. Then Shamika Holdsclaw is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. We love that around here. And then, of course, Chicago's very own as well. Candace Parker is getting inducted. And if you didn't see it on the interwebs just this week, she was on the jet with Dwayne Wade. That's her guy. And she asked him to actually walk her into the hall. And he said, I can't wait. She gave him a note, a card. It's actually really cute. If you go find the video, go do it. Watch it. It's so tender, as the homie Jazz would say. It's tender. She gave him a note. He read it, and then a huge embrace that I cannot wait to walk you into the hall. It is totally a moment that none of them will ever forget. When you get to that point, the pinnacle of your career, right? These folks are retired. They've done their jam. They're in their second or third careers of their lives, you know. But that Naismith Hall of Fame, that's on a whole nother level. So I'm so happy. I'm so happy for these women, okay? And these queer women up in here too, of course. How could I forget about Deladon, Chicago Sky, one of the originals, okay? Also fantastic basketball player. But that 96 team, I'm so happy for them because they didn't get paid for real. Okay, they got no respect. The stadiums were really empty. You know, it was the stands that was there for real. And yet they did something and set the stage for what is today now groundbreaking CBA to be signed for real 30 years later. Whew. I'm so excited for them. Maybe I can make my way there. Think I can make it on the red carpet? Oh man, think I could do the red carpet. Child, don't get me started. I might just have to figure out a way. I might just have to figure me out a way. All right. Now, our last story in culture and entertainment was about a lesbian bar. Did I not upload the? Let me fix it. Let me fix it. Let me show y'all what's going on in Denver. Denver's last standing lesbian bar, the only one they got, okay, was looking to close. And they put the word out there that they were going to be closing, and the people responded right away. The people responded right away. They put up a GoFundMe the next day, raised $83,000. $83,000 to keep the doors open, which is pretty incredible. But you know what happened next? It was unforeseen. All of a sudden, my producer was like, Anna, the GoFundMe disappeared. I said, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where did the GoFundMe go? Turns out the staff said, don't give them no money. Don't give the owners of this establishment any money. They have misused the money. Okay, this GoFundMe is fraudulent. Ask for your money back. This will not keep this place open because they ain't running it right. And I was like, dang. And let me tell y'all why I'm like, dang. Because if you're not familiar, there is a project called the Lesbian Bar Project. Okay, it's an Webby Award winning, Emmy Award winning, Glad Media Award winning docuseries about the last lesbian bars. When they did their work, there were 36 remaining across the country. Just 36 lesbian bars across the United States of America. Now, I want y'all to compare that to the 750 gay bars that exist across the country. 750 to 36. Now, child, you can't tell me that we don't have a problem here. Okay. Now let me be honest. Okay, the lesbians do not party like the boys. Okay, this is all very true. It is hard to keep a lesbian establishment open, but the disparity in those numbers is staggering. It's staggering. And I think it says a lot, not just about lesbian bars disappearing or non-existing, but just what it means to create spaces for women in this country, how hard that is to sustain. I think it says a lot about us that there were 36. So without this Denver bar, if they do in fact close, which it seems like they just might, that takes us down to 35. But now what we know to be true is, as we reported 2 weeks ago here on the podcast, the owners of Dorothy Downstairs here in Chicago, they opened up a new spot called Fathom, right? That opened up just a few weeks ago. And so they didn't brought it back up to 36. But my God, just 36. I would love for y'all to go check out Lesbian Bar Project. I think y'all really dig it. So that when y'all travel, y'all should go to these lesbian bars and support, okay? Because clearly it's hard out here. Clearly. Family, I've had a good time with y'all tonight. Let me check this chat. Vera, what's going on, Vera? Vera Washington is a legend, okay? Period. We got to honor her last year at the Purple Tie Affair. I'm so glad we did. And we're back here. We back here every Monday at 7. I'm giving y'all queer news. However, I'm trying to just reach the people. This is all about reaching the people. Build an audience, letting y'all know I'm here doing this work, and I love it. Okay, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I hope that y'all enjoy it. I do the podcast, but y'all, I'm like, I need to reach more people. So here we are, Mondays at 7, Thursdays at noon. Catch me on lunch. Yes, we got a guest this Thursday. I'm excited. We're going to talk about art. It's going to be great. We're going to talk about art. And then next Monday, yes, Jessica and Emily are going to join me. And we're going to talk about Queer Quest, how that went. Yes, and continue to support all of their work. If you want to be a guest right here on Queer News Live, hit us up, info@3radio.fm if you want to be a guest, and we'll take care of it. This is how we're doing it, and I'm loving it, and I'm having a great time. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Anna DeShawn, your favorite queer radio personality, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.